good. It's good.
ขึ้นไหมกินข้าว
Couldn't do it.
กินข้าวนะก็ไม่ได้เพิ่มนั้นเยอะแล้วก็อุ่นไปมันแล้วก็ผัดเพิ่มใส่นั่นลงไปแค่นั้นเลยเยอะข้าวมีพอแค่เพราะเนี่ยน่าจะกินกันทั้งหมดหลายเซอร์ดี้หลายเซอร์ดี้ eating
Translating what?
ฮะ
What you say?
5:30 p.m. eating
Easy?
yes
Yeah. All right. Cool. That gives a whole live podcast. Boom. And we're live. Sucking the teeth right out your eyes. What? What?
Nothing.
That's milk.
Are we in second?
You should have seen me yesterday. I was looking too tired, bro. I was like, I had my towel on, and then I had my hat on, and then I had my
Nice. Yeah.
So I was like cowboy.
Cowboy tie.
And because I went to go get some paperwork done. And then I run into this beautiful girl from Amsterdam. And I thought she was from Israel or something. But she's like, no. I'm like, probably are though. Like, I didn't ask. But so I get her phone number and all that jazz. Because she invited me out. She's like, hey, what are you doing after this? I'm like, and she wanted to go get juice, and I'm like, well, no.
Juice.
I'm not going anywhere with you. I'm going home. But yeah, maybe. So that was yesterday.
Hence your mood.
Look, alright.
You got him laid out over it.
It's a whole different topic.
Same.
But no different. You're not allowed. Yeah, you know. Who told you?
Private messages between people is not fair game for conversation.
I'm just saying. So, and I think she tried to text me too, because my phone's off, but it still lets you know when you get text messages. Like, that's really annoying, by the way. Just to antagonize you. Hey, you got messages, but you can't see them. Like, you know how annoying that is. That's AIS or your phone company just coming in and just letting you know, hey, you're broke.
Yeah, every day at the same time.
Yeah, so I think she tried to hit me up, and she doesn't have iPhone, so it turned up green. I was like, what are you?
Oh, that's so funny. I've heard of a girl getting like blocked because she didn't have iMessage. And
Exactly.
The guy she was into was like, "Fuck you! I can't even communicate with
Exactly. Like it's a real cult. Like some people are just like, if you don't have an Apple iPhone, I just will not talk to you, bro.
Wow.
It just means that you just don't take privacy seriously. You just.
And see, I've heard the opposite.
No.
Apple is not actually that.
Whoa, the only way. Here, look. Here's the truth. See this phone?
Yeah.
It's my other phone. It's a Google Pixel 4a. Alright? This is my only other phone. Well, not lies. I actually have a BlackBerry. But anyway, I digress. I still have a BlackBerry. Yes. I digress. It still works. 4G and all that. This phone looks Android, but it's not.
It's Google.
No. It's the Google.
It's Google the Google.
No, it's the Google. There are no Google apps at all on this phone. There's no Google anything on this phone. When it turns on, it says, it doesn't say Google. In fact, it gives a warning and it says, hey, this phone has custom software on it. Do you want to continue booting up the device? Because it's not Google. And I'm like, yes, of course. And then it boots Graphene OS. It doesn't boot. Look, see.
It's a different operating system. Okay.
Do you want to continue or do you want to pause? Press power button to pause. It doesn't pause. Give you the Google logo because that's who made the device. Because every device shows you the logo, then it shows you the software, Graphene OS, and that's where it gets loaded.
Yeah.
So now I don't have Android Store on here. There's nothing Android, nothing Google. You don't sign into no Google account.
Is it iMessage?
No.
It's not Apple either.
It's not Apple.
Oh,
It's you saw Graphene OS.
Yeah.
Graphene operating system.
Okay.
So this phone is running Graphene OS. It doesn't run anything Apple, anything Android, nothing Google. Yes.
Yeah.
This operating system that I'm running on here is specifically designed to keep you secure. Like, it's designed to keep the tracking off your phone. There's no tracking on this phone. Like any of my apps that I open, I can run them. There's no tracking. So like, what is it?
What app do you use to access the internet?
Oh, I use the web browser in here. It's called Vandinium or whatever. Basically, it's another. It's a offshoot of Chromium. So Chrome is from Google, but again, you have to stop and realize that Android is not Google. It's a part of Google, but it's a different thing. So what happens is that Android makes something, and they're like, all right, here's an operating system. Then Google takes the operating system and brands it and puts Google all over it, and then puts it out to the world. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what people do is they say stop Google. They take the Android portion, leave the Google over there, add what they want, and then present it to the world.
Right.
So that's how you have Samsung, where they have Samsung apps and all this extra Samsung whoops, waps, wap, blah, blah, that you don't get on non-Samsung phones because Samsung then whipped it up. You get what I'm saying? Android up with Google, and to present their operating system. So this is what they've done. So all this stuff is designed. So Chromium, is Android is Google's Chrome, but without Google, and it's just the basic bare bones. And then they added more security and privacy to it.
Yeah.
And then here's your app. So you can download apps from the Android store, all these other different places. And they work just fine. Or you can download the APK directly from like GitHub, which the APK is a file extension name for apps on your Android phone. Even on Android, they install all the apps are Instagram.apk.
Right. And they're,
Yeah.
because when Apple puts a spin on it, it's like in some countries they're not allowed to have apps, or like they're.
Yeah, no, so that's different, and that has to do with the ecosystem that each one party wants to have. So like the thing is all right, if I give you a device, right, and I put my name on it, then and it's in this ecosystem and things. Basically, if I allow this distribution center is the Android store, or like the Apple App Store is a distribution center. Kind of like, if you think about it, just a big giant watering pool. And basically what they're doing is trying to make sure people are not poisoning the water that everybody's coming to. If I was a malicious person, I could upload an app that's for kids. And then I'm doing something malicious on the back end of that app that you don't know. I'm like taking pictures while they're playing the game. You get what I'm saying? This is something you don't want on the app store, right? So that's where the regulations come in. The problem is when they start becoming political or getting paid off to allow or block certain applications because they were paid off. Like, I don't like this company and their app is better than my app, and you're my friend and you run the app store, so can you block them from, being on your app store? Sure, no problem. Now they're blocked, and you can't now they're like, well, we just spent, let's just say $50,000 on creating an application that people want. We have a user base, but we cannot put it on the App Store. But we have users that want to use it.
Yeah.
So then what happens is when you have Apple devices, the only way you can install on an iPhone is from the App Store.
Yeah.
That's why people are like, I like Android better. Why? Because you can go download the APK and download it regardless of if it's in the App Store or not.
Yeah.
Well, that's when the devices like Samsung manufacturers got smart and was like, oh, okay, well, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
You
So
have to have a separate phone to do that.
yeah, so there's certain phone manufacturers that are like, okay, you can have developer mode option on, sideloading on, all this other stuff, and
So on
you can
yours,
still do
though,
that.
Could you get some malicious app people?
Who, me?
Yeah, that's on the phone that's clean.
No. That app, like the App Store that you mean, like the Android and stuff, those are basically filtrations from the main pool. Basically, it filters all the nonsense apps, and it gives you like core apps that are considered by the community good to go for your security, safety, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's very small compared to the big list, and it's only for that. If you want the main apps, like if you want Instagram, you have to do extra steps, which involve downloading Google Play services, which is how your phone is sending all the information to Google. There's no Google Play services on your phone, then you don't have any connection to Google. So you have to download that, which is making your phone vulnerable. Yeah. And you start getting tracked again. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it defeats the whole purpose of me having the phone to begin with. Yeah. So I have two phones. One's Apple, where here's all my information. So when you come pick me up, you can be like, he's this type of person. You know, he's a normal guy. Because, you know, on my other phone, it's like all, you saw what we were reading on there. Like, yeah, bro, I'm a terrorist according to the current administration. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll look at me and they'll be like, this guy was at the Capitol. You know what I'm saying? Am I wrong though? Like, if someone with, no one knows me and they just look at this one phone, they would paint that picture. They'd be like, oh man, this guy, he's radical. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm just like, no.
You like opening your mouth to find out you're radical.
But that's like, no, man. I'm just interested in stuff, and I'm just researching. I want to see how you guys are thinking over here, how you're thinking over here, how you guys are thinking over here, because we're all connected. But if we're all thinking differently, how? So that way it can find like maybe a common thread. So that way it can kind of stand in the middle and be like, hey, everyone, here's this common thing you guys keep talking about. Now can we like do something? Because we're standing around looking like a bunch of just birds, just squawking, bro. We're not doing anything. So, yeah, man, Android's cool, but it's gotten locked down. It's basically the same as Apple with like Samsung and stuff regulating things, you know. And like I said, the bootloaders and stuff, they're starting to lock those down to where you can't install flash ROMs and stuff. You have to do all these extra steps, or you have to buy certain phones. It's too much. So before, in the old days, you used to jailbreak and root both devices. So on iPhone and Android, you could do whatever you want. That's why I was like, I never understood that too. Like the jailbreaking process and the rooting process, same thing. So it didn't matter which phone you had, like you could do whatever you wanted to. But now they kept
putting those like stops in the way.
Yeah, man. So now it's making it like when Samsung came out with their privacy security keynotes or whatever, like chip or whatever on the board, and like locked that down basically to where you couldn't root the device anymore. Security reasons. So, forget all that, man. You gotta have a profile, that's all that matters. So that way that you look normal. Otherwise, yeah. I told my friend this. I was talking to my friend. He's like, man, I'm job hunting. I was like, bro, you need to just go have the AI do it. Make sure you tell the AI to use, what I say, keywords for that community. that I get you looked at. He's like, I'd rather not, because we don't, giving up more information to AI. I was like, look, bro, I got a Facebook account that I don't use. I don't even have it installed on my app, on my phone. I have it for years, but I have Facebook. You gotta have something that looks normal.
Yeah.
I was like, they already have this information on you. And the first round of drafts, when you apply to something, is the AI picking. Because the AI just scans through the resume, and if it has a certain amount of keywords, it pulls it. And he's like, you got a point. I was like, so you
I hate that AI is like taking away like jobs of real people, but it's like, we could be using AI to do
well, here's the
these
thing.
other things.
You want to hear something?
Plastic aggregation.
Here's my controversial statement. I like that AI is taking jobs away, because those were jobs that we didn't need to be doing anyway as human beings. We needed to be doing other jobs, focusing on other things. You can't care for plants or animals the same as a like machine. Like AI can't raise a fucking baby calf. You know what I'm saying? It can only just monitor it. It can't raise a horse to win a championship. You know what I'm saying? It can't raise a plant and grow good fruit. Like it doesn't. It's only gonna know how much, you know what I'm saying, water it needs, or whatever else. But you still have to go out there yourself and present energy to it. You know what I'm saying? Like we all know animals and plants respond to energy and vibrations, music, all that stuff. So like AI can't do that. So why not have them do those media's tasks? I don't know. Hope us focus on hopefully getting back to nature. That's what I want to see. That's how I would use AI.
Now many AI for trades crypto.
Yeah, crypto. See, crypto's great. Like you said, it's good for disrupting the monetary system right now. The problem, which is why I got kicked out the community, is at the exchange. And that's where it becomes a center of control. Like, the whole idea is great, but as soon as you introduce the exchange, that's where you have control. Because at the exchange, they can dictate how much you can or cannot buy. Because we saw this happen already when the Dogecoin run. The platform literally stopped people from buying Dogecoin. They stopped people from making money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so we haven't left the system. It's cool, but the way that it's being used is wrong. It's at the end of the day, when you go to the exchange and you say, okay, well I have, let's say Dogecoin and I need to get Ripple, and you want to exchange it. They're like, well, today we're not exchanging Dogecoin with Ripple today. We're just not doing it. So then you're just stuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or they'll be like, hey, and I've seen this happen with the XRP.
Suddenly just like stops allowing people to buy something.
Or I've seen this before. They delist the coin. XRP was delisted from certain organizations to where people bought XRP on that platform. Then they delisted the coin. So now you have coins stuck in this wallet that's on the system that they don't support anymore. And they're like, you got 30 days to move your tokens. But you're always going to have just this little bit of tokens left in the wallet because that's just how it works. Yeah. To keep the wallet open, you have to have this little bit of money.
Well,
and every
continue to make money.
Right. And every wallet that's open always has to have this much in it, period. So you're always left with losing money along the way every time you want to move stuff. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I'm like, again, it's cool and it works, but how it's being implemented once again is why people are scared. Because if this guy Bisma wants to go and he's going to China, he goes to China and he gets like yuan cryptocurrency. So he has yuan, right? But then he gets invitation to go to South Africa to do a show. And
he goes to South Africa and they want to do to Krugergen. Let's just say Krugergen because that's from South Africa. And he gets over there and they're like, whoa, Bisma, you know what? We don't like you, so you can't exchange your yuan to Krugergen. Or, you know, or he tries to pay with yuan in South Africa and they accept it there, but his wallet, no. They turned off his wallet to where he can't spend his money anywhere because the whole network is connected. So if you turn off the wallet, it's off everywhere, which means you can't exchange, you can't spend. So you could be sitting there with like $1 million in cryptocurrency, and everywhere it's cryptocurrency you can pay. Because, you know, that's the world we live in now. There's no paper money, it's just crypto everything. But you know what? Earlier that day, let's make it, you're a normal person. You work a 9 to 5, you pay taxes, and then you try to pay something and it's blocked. And you're like, what the hell? What's going on? Earlier that day, there was a robbery and they think it's you. And so they cut off your spending. You get what I'm saying? They think you're a suspect. So they cut off your wallet and everything else. Well, you just tried to pay here, they come pick you up. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why people are afraid, because it's like you can immediately damage someone's life.
Yeah, for sure.
Quickly.
Yeah, you didn't have access to your money in 24 hours even.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can damage someone's life very quickly, and that's why people are like, basically the government or the world, whoever you want to say is in charge, has direct access to your purse. And your purse is that thing is more sacred to you than your best friend. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, your purse is like the most sacred thing next to you, like Allah in your life. You get what I'm saying? You think God and then you think money. You know what I'm saying? You think where you came from and how to get money. Like, how you don't know, I don't know how much money he has, you has, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something you keep close to you because that's sacred. Now it's basically like the government or whoever's in charge can like easily dictate your purse. Think about that. They're dictating your purse, whether or not you can spend it here, when you can spend it, everything. So you're working just to be allowed to maybe spend what you earn. Oh, you know what? You're watching a little bit too much porn. No more for you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, you drink too much. No more alcohol for you, because they're linking it with the health. You get what I'm saying? So you're reporting your health to these people, and they're like looking at your health, and they say, you're eating too much ice cream this week. No more ice cream. They cut you off. And the phone comes up, sorry, we don't recommend, your doctor recommends that you eat less calories, so you can't buy food, you know. This is, I mean, think about it. And if I'm thinking like, oh, is this possible? And like, oh, they won't use it like that. That's not the point. The point is, if it's possible, somebody's going to use it like that. Otherwise, you need to code that portion out. You got to have it coded to where you can't, and they don't have it like that, and they're not talking about coding it like that. I've questioned this many times in the community, and I've always gotten kicked out of the chats. Because that and the other thing, where's the money coming from? There's absolutely all this money in cryptocurrency. Where did it come from? Like, legitimately. If you're telling me of all the currencies in the world, there's, you know what I'm saying, 100 billion total, just in circulation, every currency in the world, period. Paper money that's linked to a government or whatever, IMF, is 100 billion in the world. And then cryptocurrency came along and made millionaires. Where did those millions of dollars come from? It had to have shifted from somebody's hand, right? Because money is, you know, either created from the government or it's in circulation. So it means all that money that was put into circulation, did those go to those people's hands that made the cryptocurrency? Because we're not seeing it in circulation. But you're telling me there's like 10,000 brand new millionaires from cryptocurrency. Where'd the money come from?
What's it backed by?
Yeah. And every time I ask this question, I get kicked out. They're like, oh, they don't want to talk about this because it came from nowhere. It literally came from nowhere. Someone just was like, yeah, you got this money. And so I'm thinking to myself, if I'm in exchange, how can I pay you millions of dollars? $100,000. Let's just say how can I pay you $100,000? I have to keep the servers running, pay my employees, keep the lights on. You get what I'm saying? Like, where is this money coming from as an exchange to back that I can pay you $100,000? Now imagine $100,000 times 10 of you. Where the f is the money coming from?
Looks like the dollar. Just print some more cash. You know?
So that's what I'm like. So when people are like, oh, this is gonna get rid of the Federal Reserve, I'm like, no, man. The banks, the Federal Reserve is backing the cryptocurrency. How else are this money coming from nowhere except from the place that's already doing it? The banks. The biggest banks are backing these cryptocurrencies. That's why I'm like, no, we're not getting away from anything. We're just, you know how like back in the day, hey, we're going paperless. Remember that phrase?
Sure.
Yeah, we're still going paperless. That's all.
Yeah.
They're just finishing up that whole cycle of going paperless. That's what this is, you know? So yeah, when I can, bro. I send you a link. I guess he said I can send an Apple link. I guess I'll try it out. A little music link. You can try out the music. That'd be dope. I don't know. There's a lot, man. Oh, I told you about China too, right? Yeah, and U.S. The U.S. was like, hey, we don't stand with Taiwan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they officially came out and was like, I'm like, that was a green light to China. That's all that was. That was a green light. I'm like, oh man.
It's struggle for sure.
I think they're gonna do it next month. July or August? July, August, September. Says what? Got the homies. Got the homies. I didn't know it is. It's a whole different experience. Who you talking to? What up, man? What up? How you doing? I feel you. Damn, it's cold. What you wearing? That shit look like Goku out there. That's just cold. Goku orange.
어디다 진짜
오늘은 the chancellor.
아까도 좀 네?
I'll be back.
Out of here.
I'm gonna run to chancellor.
I don't think you went already.
No, I'm gonna go now.
해외
I'll be back here in a
해외
little bit.
비슷해
I'll be back in a
Where
little
are you
bit.
going, Jennifer?
Got to hit the console off.
Maxwell?
Yeah, when you come back here.
Alright. I'll go to Maxwell as well.
Bang, bang, bang on that kitty because it's wet. I love that hat though. Right?
That's a topic to limit in that affair.
That hat fire, bro.
Why not that? Victor, 제일 좋은 거 비슷한 거죠. ನಾನು ಬೇಕಿದ್ದೋಸ್ಕರ ಸಂಹಾರ ಟೈಪ್ ಚೋದಿಸ್ತೀನಿ Ben de hiç mesela herhangi Aras. Herkes çıksın belki.
$15,000.
Hangi